Okay, so this is the next day, and now we're coming in here and we're gonna start going through this shower. Just keep looking. And what we're gonna do is we're like stuff like this that I left behind. We're just gonna go around and we're gonna scrape this stuff off. One more thing that I want to talk to you about is yesterday I didn't show you, but I went through and I filled all of the screw holes. I missed one right there, but you just want to go around and make sure you fill all those in too. Today I want to work on a shower pan, so I'm going to do 3 shower pans today for 3 different showers. And what I want to do so I can start installing some tile tomorrow is I want to get at least my first coat of waterproofing on, and then I'm going to fan dry that, and then I'm going to be able to do my pan. And so what we're going to use here is we're going to use a paintbrush and a roller. I use Hydroban. I talk about this a lot. Everybody knows it. Yes, I know it's the more expensive waterproofing membrane that you can buy, but it's also the best waterproofing membrane that you can buy. Now, one of the things that's nice about this is that even if I had an 1/8 inch gap right here, or a crack or wherever, you can paint this stuff right over anything an 1/8 inch or less, not even use tape or cloth, and they'll guarantee this to waterproof that. Obviously it'll take a few coats to fill a crack like that. Now I don't recommend doing it that way, but just go ahead and fill all your joints and then you're good to go. There's a ton of other waterproofing membranes out on the market. I just highly recommend this, or I would go with Hydro Barrier, which is a little less expensive. The difference is you're going to have to use cloth on all of your joints like we did here, not the tape, but the cloth. And there's a link to that on my website. I'll put a link in the description below that you can go and check that out. Basically, I buy this by the 5 gallon, but you can buy it in gallons. So I have a link for this on my website, and I'll put that below here. Just gonna stir it around a little. I use a brush like in the corners. Get this out of the way so you can see a little. So I'm gonna brush, and then I'm going to use a roller in the main part. Now I do want to tell you this is a smaller shower. I'm just going to waterproof the whole thing. The other thing that's nice about this is that it is anti-fracture membrane too. So wherever you put it, it's going to help your tile from cracking during movement, grout joints cracking during movement. So I just like to do the whole thing. I'm going to show you real quick. I just dip right in the bucket. Once you get started, it rolls a little better, but I'm just going to roll it on. Oops, a little messy there. Cody. Is that Cody?
Yeah, he just walked away.
Cody.
Yeah.
Grab the sponge and bucket. You're also going to want to have a sponge and bucket here. And then basically that's all I'm going to do. Now I'm not going to show you the whole thing, but I'll show you before and after. But I'm just going to keep going around and rolling. Now you can see, I told you earlier that you should fill all these screw holes. Well, I don't know how, but last night I missed some. So I'm just going to paint over them now. And then I can fill those in. But just so you know that you can do those kinds of things. Anyway, I'm going to keep going and I'll show you what it looks like in a little while. Okay, so we got our first coat done. You can see here it's already dry. It only took about an hour. It's kind of dry in here today. And I did do the sealing also. And like I told you, the reason why I do it is because it also works as an anti-fracture membrane. Now, when I was all done here, I just took a bag from Home Depot here and I just put my roller in here and just lined it up. Now this will keep this fresh, and actually it'll keep it fresh for a week or two. Do the same thing with my paintbrush. Now I won't wait that long, but it could be a week before I get all of my final coats done in these showers. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna come in here tomorrow today I'm gonna do the pan and we're gonna show you some of that. And I'll come in here tomorrow, I'll do 2 more coats tomorrow and I'll use a fan to help dry it. And then I'll be ready to start setting tile. And then we'll talk more about the waterproofing because the pan won't be waterproof tomorrow. And you'll just have to tune in to tomorrow's video to see what I'm talking about and what we're gonna do here. Okay, I just wanna give you a little tidbit here. So I'm putting a curb in here and I'm using a Schluter curb. So this is a Schluter curb and what I'm gonna do is we're gonna then set this down in here. You can see right now if I just didn't set it right here, it'd be right to the end. Well, then my tile would stick out past this wall and I'm not putting tile out here. So I want to bring this in 1/2 inch. My tile is 3/8. Thin set adds about 1/8 of an inch. Plus I have to put something else over the curb here. So I'd rather be in too far and then build it back out. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of cement board here. And I'm going to use this as a guide. And that's going to push my curb into where I need it. And I'll leave this in. Now this 2x4 I'm using to support this curb so it doesn't move while I'm putting the pan in. I screwed it into the wall right here and then I screwed right here. What I did is I took a little piece right here and I screwed from this way into that little piece to attach it, and then I screwed here and here into the base plate of the wall. That gave me a nice solid piece. So that's something that you can think about. That's something that you can use as a guide for you, or for you to be able to do this too. If it was on a wood subfloor, it'd be a lot easier because you could screw right into the floor. I'm getting ready to put my sand mix in. You can see that I filled this hole. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some thin set on the floor, and that's what's going to bond my pan to the floor. So it's a slurry mix. You can use a paintbrush to apply that. I like to use a small notch trowel. Put this curb in right now. So I'm gonna thin set it in. I'm trying to do this quick so that the video's not long. And I have other videos that are gonna explain all this in more detail for you. These are just quick little tidbit videos. Now, I'm going to make a mess here trying to get it back in. I want to make sure I put my thin set or my cement board back in. Now, my curb is going to sit right there. I could have waited and put this in later after I was crawling over, but this pan is so small. I just put it in now. Now before this thin set skims over, I'm just gonna dump some sand mix in here. Spread it around so it covers the thin set. Then it won't skim on me. I'll get a nice bond. Now I'll add more and get my pan going. Now again, like I said, I have full videos that show you how to do a shower pan. I'm just giving you a little bit of a few tips here today, which you can find on Tile University, and I'll put a link down to my website for that in the description of this video. But basically I'm going to use a 2x4 and I put that to that line. And I'll show you a little bit more what I'm talking about. And basically right there is where my shower pan is going to end. So I use this as a guide. And then the other thing, this is kind of a bigger area. So to screed from the drain, you want to either have a level that's long enough, or you want to get yourself a 2x4 that you cut that's long enough to make it drain from the wall, so that when you are screeding, you can screed easily in the long lengths. Okay, so you can see how I went around with my 2x4 and I was able to make a nice little ridge there. Well, that's what I did with the 2x4, and now I'll be able to screed back to the drain using that as a guide. This on the drain and then screed to my marks along the walls that I showed you. Okay, so we just got done with this, so you can see kind of what we did here. So this all took a full day today. We did 3 pans today. I have both my sons, Brandon and Cody, working with me. There's Cody right there. Brandon, take a quick pic of him. There's that was Brandon. Now here's Cody. Brandon took a pic of himself. So those are my boys. Those are the workhorses of the job here for me. Anyway, so tomorrow we'll be on day 3. We'll get going on some other stuff, and I'll give you some more tips and some more things that you can focus on while you're doing your installation. So that's it for today. And just remember, once again, we can all be saved through Jesus Christ. Have a good day.